Well, hello, and welcome back to The Practiced Life, the podcast with twice weekly mini episodes where I just drop some gems I'm feeling. I just drop some gems I'm feeling, and hopefully they'll be helpful to you. I'm calling today's episode "How to Liberate Yourself." I love this one. Boy, this was a long time coming for me. As a recovering people pleaser, very much codependent, trying to fix, manage, and control everything. This one was tough for me. But I would say, having been to the other side and tasted the waters of liberation, I highly recommend it. So, how do you liberate yourself? How do you begin to liberate yourself? First, I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you some steps. The first one is begin by disappointing someone. There's a time in my life where, oh my gosh, my dad knew how to cut me. My mom did too. But it wasn't anything beyond, I'm so disappointed in you. And whether or not I agreed with the assessment of the wrongness of my behavior, that word that just totally plugged into my need to please, my need to be validated, my need to be okay. Listen, we come by it honestly. It's very much a survival instinct. The more you please, the better you're taken care of. And our parents necessarily, and grandparents, if you are of a certain age, were not trained to raise independent thinkers who could disappoint people and take care of themselves and love themselves first and love themselves most. Nobody had that information. So it starts by begin by disappointing somebody. And I don't mean on purpose, like go and look for somebody to disappoint, but just notice that come up with a good no. When you are asked to do something that you don't want to do, begin by disappointing somebody. And you're not doing it to hurt anybody. You're not doing it to belittle anybody. You're not doing it to be mean to anybody. You are taking care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself, there are going to be people in your life who are disappointed. So how do you liberate yourself? You begin by disappointing someone. Here's the next one. Begin by displeasing someone. Yes. Now, when you think about it, is it even humanly possible to please everybody? Of course it's not. Of course it's not. We are all living in our own little universes, our own little self-created universes, looking at the world and others through our own lens of perception that has been shaped by every moment we've ever lived. So we live in these unique universes with unique perspectives and experiences. We can't please everybody. It's absolutely impossible and not a worthy goal if you want to live a liberated life. So how do you liberate yourself? You displease someone. You make your decisions based on what's right for you. And if someone is displeased, that is their choice. Next, how do you liberate yourself? You edit toxic behavior from your life. Now, if you are of a certain age, you might want to spend some time on this step because you have experienced some toxic behavior in your life. And if you are of a certain age, you were never trained to get rid of the baggage. You were never trained to edit the relationships in your life based on what was best for you. You weren't. You weren't. You just have to put up with it. Why do you, I remember I used to ask that question. Why do you put up with that? Because that's what you do. That's what my mother used to say to me. That's what you do. You've got to edit toxic behavior from your life. if you want to liberate yourself. Now, the great news is the older you get, the less you are likely to put up with any shenanigans from anybody. You're just done. You're less likely to be upset about disappointing someone. You're less likely to be upset about displeasing someone, and you're more likely to be willing to edit the toxic behavior from your life. You got to do it. You got to do it. That's a step you can't skip because you decide. You decide who gets in your inner circle. You decide who you spend time with. You've got to edit toxic behavior, people who demonstrate toxic patterns, people who haven't really done the work, aren't doing the healing work to become the best versions of themselves. You got to edit toxic behavior from your life. You can't be manipulated, controlled, and disrespected by the behavior of others and be liberated. Can't do it. Next, how to liberate yourself. Replace guilt with peace. When you make a decision that's best for you and it disappoints somebody, it displeases somebody, you say, and you start to feel that old pattern of guilt. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have just done it. Maybe I shouldn't have rocked the boat. You start to feel that energy. You let that move through you and go right to peace. Go right to peace and make this your mantra. I am at peace because I have my own back. I am at peace because I have my own back. Next, how to liberate yourself. Once you take these steps, celebrate your freedom. Notice your freedom. Celebrate your freedom. Bask in your freedom. Bask in it. Bask in that freedom. Notice your freedom. Don't take this liberation that you've granted yourself for granted. When you liberate yourself, you need to bask in it. You need to honor it. You need to celebrate it. Celebrate it however you wish. Do a little ceremony, light some candles, bring in your non-physical council of guides and ascended masters and teachers, and thank them for pointing this out to you, for pointing you to this information, just like I did. I am telling you, right before I recorded this podcast, I said to my non-physical counsel, thank you for guiding me toward this experiential liberation. Thank you for showing me how to liberate myself. And the last step, continue this practice or these practices over and over and over again until it's automatic. Until it's automatic that you are constantly making decisions where you have your own back, where you're doing what's best for you. Doesn't mean you're not generous. Doesn't mean you aren't helpful. Doesn't mean you don't love. It means that you are not held hostage by how others view you and your decisions. You are not held hostage by what others think of you, by their emotional reactions and upsets, because you've liberated yourself from that. It's a profound practice. And I'm not to the point where it's automatic yet. I have to really focus on it. I have to really concentrate on it. I have to pay attention to my yeses and my nos. I have to pay attention to how it feels in my body when I disappoint somebody or displease somebody, when I edit toxic behavior from my life, when I start to feel guilty that I didn't do something that the old me would have just slogged through it and done it. It's not quite automatic for me yet, but I see automatic in my future the more I practice. And that is why living a consciously practiced life is so key. It's the key to more joy. It's the key to more abundance. It's the key to wealth. It's the key to your liberation. I'm so glad you joined me today. If you want to start practicing with me, I've got a great one for you. Go to sherrysalata.com/free network. And it just takes just a second to sign up.
and you can begin streaming my morning magic practice. It's free. It's great. It changes the daily experience of life. Thanks for listening, everyone.